Everybody remain quiet now.
So while it's a small business, it's not really a profitable business, but it has a lot to do with creating the halo for the brand image.
So everybody's very cautious, and not like in the past, in the 80s and 90s, everybody just developed.
Welcome to Calvin Klein Autumn Winter 2013. We are here before the show with Tom Murry, Chief Executive of the brand. Tom, I think when most of the world thinks about Calvin Klein, they think about things like the perfume that's sitting on every seat, the jeans, the underwear, the huge business. So how big is the collection business, the cherry on the top?
It's a very small business. I mean, we have about an $8 billion retail business around the world, and the collection business is a very, very small business. But it is the halo for the brand. It generates a tremendous amount of publicity for us. The advertising cost equivalent is over $400 million a year, which is generated by celebrity dressing, the fashion shows, and all those kinds of things. But we're not a luxury brand. We're a global lifestyle fashion brand with a small luxury business at the top of the pyramid.
And where is the growth coming from now?
The United States is doing very well for us. I mean, you know, Macy's is our biggest account in the U.S. They grew 12% comps in January, as you probably know. So seeing big growth there. Asia continues to be a very strong driver. China slowed down a little bit, but it's back strong again. Latin America is very good for us. Brazil, Mexico. Europe is tough, because we're way over penetrated in Southern Europe, Italy and Spain, so we're struggling there.
Do you think that we're going toward a double-digit growth period again, or that it's going to remain in the sort of single digits that we saw last year and the year before?
It's hard to say, but everyone's pretty optimistic, so I think we're looking at another double-digit growth year.
And how important is it for a global lifestyle fashion brand to have a creative director?
I think to have a name and a face to go with the brand is really important.
We're backstage at Calvin Klein with designer Francisco Costa. Francisco, one of the things I think that we miss often on the runway is the amount of technical research and workmanship involved in what looks like a quite simple kind of wool suit. So do you want to show us what actually is...
Especially for this house, you know, we have to keep it to a certain extent, you know, so polished and so minimal. So it's very fun actually to develop, you know, go in depth, and find some interesting techniques. For instance, those are hinges, and those are hinges. Yeah, from the smallest hinges I ever seen in my life. We bought them in Japan.
Why is technical innovation so important to a fashion house?
Well, I think it's important not just for a fashion house, for the industry is very important, because you're fitting the mills with ideas which propel, you know, newness to them and better businesses. This, what you see, is a plaid. You know, it's a very faint plaid. And this is a drop needle, so this is not cut off. This happens to be woven that way.
It's not cut?
No, it's not cut. It's woven.
It was made that way.
Yeah, so...
Do you have a situation where you'll want to do something with fabric and the mill will say you're crazy with it, we don't
Absolutely.
want to do that?
Like this. I'm telling you, it's 3 years.
So how did you get them to do it?
You know, the idea was so interesting, so genuine, and I had to... It's a cost thing. It's a cost issue. You know, business, for instance, in Italy have become very difficult. So everybody's very cautious.
So do you think that the recession and what the recession has meant for the fashion industry is actually working against technological innovation and innovation?
Oh, absolutely, but at the same you know, token, I'm always pushing. This is a leather dress, really light, but you know, the construction with tiny little hinges.
Are these hinges too? What are these?
Yeah.
And so is the Calvin customer the same customer around the world, or are there different items that appeal to different women in different markets?
It's very diverse, and also it's very interesting that you asked me the question, because that goes back to our casting. You know, in Asia, obviously, it's much shorter waist. It's not, the items are not so different, but it's basically the fit, and you accommodate the fit.
So other than the waist, what do you have to change?
You do the waist and the length, you know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, a pleasure.